Turkey's Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu says Ankara will share photos showing the U.S. giving weapons to PKKs Syrian branch PYDYPG. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu speaks during his meeting with foreign journalists in Istanbul, Turkey on November 17, 2017. AA Ankara will soon share evidence that the United States has supplied the PYDYPG terror organization with arms, Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu said Friday. Turkey considers the PYD and its armed wing YPG to be the Syrian branch of the PKK, which has been designated as a terrorist organization by Turkey, the US, and the EU. The PKK has been waging an armed campaign against the Turkish state for several decades, and its growth along northern Syria poses a security threat for Turkey. Speaking to foreign media representatives in Istanbul, Cavusoglu said the U.S. is repeating a mistake with the approval of a secret cooperation between the Daesh and PYDYPG terror groups in Syria. A recent PYD deal to allow hundreds of Daesh terrorists to escape Raqqa has received a strong reaction from Turkey. Pentagon spokesman Eric Pan on Tuesday defended the deal, saying it was part of a local solution to a local issue. But Cavusoglu warned that YPG-PKK-PYD is gaining more and more territory, which is a very risky development. Referring to the good cooperation between YPG and Daesh, he said nobody denies it. We have been telling our U.S. allies and others in the coalition that there is no difference between YPG and the PKK and that YPG is not fighting for freedom or the unity of the country but fighting to gain more territory in the country. Criticizing the U.S. for not keeping its promise that PYDYPG forces would withdraw from Raqqa, he added they have not been able to pull back YPG from any town. Now, you see the statement which said they would continue to work with YPG. We are going to share soon the photos and evidence showing weapons that the U.S. has been giving to YPG and also weapons made in other coalition states, including Germany. Afrin operation is for the northwestern Syrian province of Afrin. The minister said there were terrorists in that region who are targeting Turkey. They attack our security personnel, and they are using the weapons given by some countries in the coalition, he said. Afrin poses a serious threat to our national security. So wherever there are terrorists, we need to eliminate them. The Turkish armed forces TİSK are reportedly planning to set up 12 observation and security points in Idlib as part of the Astana peace process while preparing to extend the operation to Afrin and Manbij. Turkish troops will be deployed to strategic points in Idlib, near its border with Afrin and Manbij, to monitor the region to prevent clashes between Syrian opposition fighters and Assad regime forces as well as outline a plan for an upcoming operation in the other two areas. The Turkish military has already established 6 observation posts across Idlib. Cavusoglu said the main role of the observers was to find out who is violating the ceasefire. It is not an easy task, he said. We need to identify all the radical groups and we need to eliminate them. The minister also shared that Turkey had stopped and deported more than 5,000 foreign fighters in the past 45 years. Around 3,000 others are under arrest in Turkey, he said. Turkey's relations asked about bilateral relations between Turkey and the U.S. The minister said overall, I cannot say that I am very much disappointed with Mr. Trump. However, he added that the U.S. policy towards PYDYPG has unfortunately not changed. Talking about another problem between the two states, the extradition of Fethullah Gulen, the minister said we requested his extradition, and we have submitted all the evidence that he was behind the failed coup. Meanwhile, we requested his temporary arrest and an investigation. Gulen has been threatening us from there and still is free enjoying everything, he said. Fethullah Gulen's organization, which Turkey calls the Fethullah Terrorist Organization or FETO, is accused of orchestrating last year's failed coup in Turkey in which more than 240 people were killed and over 2,200 wounded. Gulen is also accused of a long-running campaign to overthrow the state through the infiltration of Turkish institutions, particularly the military, police and judiciary, forming what is commonly known as the parallel state. Turkey's Visa Road minister also talked about the arrest of a local U.S. consulate employee in Istanbul over alleged ties to FETO. Following his arrest, the U.S. Embassy in Ankara announced the suspension of non-immigrant visa services to Turkish nationals. A month later, the embassy announced visa applications were being processed on a limited basis at its diplomatic missions in Turkey. Source: Turtworld and agencies.